Hey everybody, it's about 7:30 in the morning and I'm in Red Rock Canyon. We're gonna go look for some ancient pictographs, petroglyphs. But first, we're gonna take a walk up into the canyon. This is a pretty famous place. People have been living in this canyon for about 10,000 years. The Anasazi were here about 2,000 years ago. Most recently, the Paiute Indians, coming from about 1,000 years ago. But the history is deep in Red Rock Canyon. We have agave roasting pits, we have pictographs, and we have a deep history here. But here, give you a look around. And up there about 5,000 feet, we got some snow a few nights ago. I don't know if you can see that up there, but it got pretty cool over the last few days. But today, it's about 60 and warming up real fast up here in the Spring Mountains. But you see the sun hasn't peeked over the canyon wall yet. It's pretty cold back in here without any sun. Here, there is some flowers. There is stuff actually growing out here in the desert. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to miss a lot of stuff out here. But this area right here was a prehistoric kitchen, they call it. But these were the sites of agave roasting pits. They roasted rabbits, tortoise, bighorn sheep, and other plants up here. This is what they look like today. But these were agave roasting pits. Seasonal camps for the natives that came up here, really when it was too hot in the valley floor, and they would find food up here that they couldn't find elsewhere around this area 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Well, the trail seems to be cut off up here. I'm a little out of breath. We're about 5,000 feet in elevation here. But it is a cool, beautiful morning in Red Rock Canyon. Don't fall there. But one of my questions is, how do people survive here 1,000, 2,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago? No air conditioning, over 100 degrees between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Well, they came up to places like this where there was actually greenery, stuff to eat, and cool mornings and cool evenings. I'm up off the beaten path up here. And this, I believe, is one of those agave roasting pits. You can see how there's some large stones in a circular pattern kind of up here. And then this area in the middle with nothing. I think this is one of those ancient agave roasting pits. You know, it's a cactus nearby. But this place, I could camp here. I could camp here, no problem. But most of my videos are from down on the strip, but just a few minutes from where I live. We have total solitude and a beautiful place to hang out. But sitting here in the shade, it's pretty darn cold. But if you go over there in the sun, you start sweating, so it's one of those in-between days. But just having a little something to drink, thinking about where my next step is. But there is rock carvings all along these walls. They're kind of hard to find because there's no path up there and the undergrowth is pretty thick. But this was a pretty sacred valley. Right around the bend there, there's a mountain called Turtlehead Peak. And of course, the turtle being at the center of the creation stories of the natives and the Mayans, I truly think that that is why this valley here is pretty sacred and full of rock art. And this is the most noticeable spot in the canyon. But we got many different representations. Looks like a turtle up there. But these are dug into the rock face pretty good here. And here is a handprint, and these are common in the valley here. You can see it right here. And here is a symbol. I'm not sure what this is. You can see it right there. Here's a little sign they have here in Red Rock Canyon. Some of the artwork I just showed you. I wouldn't want to be here when that guy came off of up there and came down. That's probably about maybe 400 or 500 ton rock there. Oh man, I need to get out in the sun. It's still pretty cold up here, back here. I need to get out there. But this will give me a good look at the terrain up here in Red Rock Canyon. Not the easiest footing. Not the easiest place to film and walk, obviously. But once in a while by those roasting pits, you can find some ancient pottery. There is artifacts like that up here. Oh man. Water goes through here a lot easier than I do. There's a look at some flowers up here. Stuff does grow up here in the desert. But just my thinking, I'm thinking people have used this dry wash for a pathway for a really, really long time, and it's really hot here in the sun. I gotta take some stuff off here. Ugh. But whether it was 500 years ago or 5,000 years ago, the living in this valley or in this canyon would not have been easy. And you really, really had to know what you were doing as far as living off the land and making use of your resources out here, because it's pretty unforgiving, but I think it's gorgeous. Well, that's where I came from up there. And up in this area, there is a waterfall, and I'm thinking with the recent snowfall from a couple nights ago that waterfall might be going. Let's head up there. But let's just keep an eye on where we're walking. Don't want to take a tumble, obviously. Well, here we are at an overlook. But this site, it's determined that people were living here, camping here thousands of years ago. And it just says, the desert provides food, tools, medicine, and clothes. The survival of native people depended on excellent observational skills and a keen understanding of the natural world. For thousands of years, they adapted to their environment by living off the land, hunting wild game, and gathering plant materials. And this is the prickly pear cactus that I've shown you. And I think they use that for food and material. It says, the pads were prepared to treat cuts and infections, and the juice was taken as an anti-inflammatory, diuretic, and a painkiller. Whew, I'm out of breath. But this up here, with this little overhang, they said that people were camping up here a long, long time ago. I don't know if you can hear that. But there's water running, and that is a good sign that the waterfall will be going. But it is up this way. Well, this is certainly a cool sight for me. I have never seen water running up here, just because I haven't gone at the right times of year. But that is a welcome sight. And here we are at the waterfall. Pretty darn cold. Ow! Well, I don't have the chance to walk in water too often. My feet are freezing. Those are cold feet. I'm sure they use this for an ancient water source. As the water's flowing up here well into April, and this is the beginning of May even, but that's a rare late snowfall that we had. But a nice little oasis back here. But glad you came along. My little hike up into Red Rock Canyon. Pretty cool stuff up here. And the natives and the people living in this canyon for really the last 10,000 years have known how to use the resources, the plants, and a little bit of wildlife and water up here to the best of their ability and their most maximum usage. Because I can just imagine how difficult it would have been for people to live here. But here is the wash, and we'll get water down here when there's really bad rainstorms. But just had a little bit of snow way up in the elevations the last couple nights, so we had some water going in the smaller streams, which is really cool. Well, it's probably climbed to the well into the 80s. It's getting pretty warm out here. This is just a little one last look at the canyon, some of the plant life. But this will give you some idea of the color out here. Those are pretty cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Right over that hump about 5 miles is Summerlin, western Las Vegas. This is Red Rock Canyon. People have lived here for thousands of years. Seemed like they would come up here in the summer, get away from the heat of the valley. We had snow up here at the beginning of May, which is pretty rare, but that's a good look at Red Rock Canyon. Hope you thought that was cool, and you all have a very nice day.